Sarah, Raquel, stop yelling. Be careful. Raquel, no. Let me see. What did you do, baby? You have a pin? Oh, wait, I have a pin right here. You have a problem, I think. Oh, I got it. Give me the other better. There you go. I know this. Hi, welcome in. I can't see who this is. Oh, there it's Mark. Actually, Mark, I ended it because whoever that was, it wasn't going away. So I said I would end it, but I think my mic was on mute. So I'm sorry. First live, it's a learning thing. But anyway, I'll talk to you, and then as time progresses and I do more lives, we can build this community. But Mark, you're the first one in this community of my live stream, so welcome. The first one, the first active one. And we had another person named Games Tune, and they were interested. So hopefully we'll see them in a little bit. Um, but yeah, so I am in, like I was saying, I'm in Orlando. I am, and I'm sorry, I'm allergies are terrible today. Um, from day one. Yep. Thank you. Very, very sweet. So yeah, I'm a believer. I formed this channel. So I have two channels. I have my main channel, which I've always used to like watch channels and stuff. And I just now started to, I'm gonna start posting. I have like 5 followers on it. I'm gonna start posting content on there because I'm gonna go through another journey outside of the spiritual thing that I'm doing here. It's more of a practical physical thing that I'm going through there. But that's just starting. So, but this one, Biblical Daily, at first I was going to make it faceless because I was like, I have nothing to offer other than just like maybe snippets of videos where people would, something that God gives me and I want to share. But the more I've been doing and I realized that, we are walking and living testimonies of what God can do in our lives. So why not put a face to this, right? To what he's doing through my life, which my life has been full of pain, has been full of just so much religion, brokenness. Um, and I'm still going through a healing process. I'm probably at a point in my life where it's I don't know what my life is gonna be tomorrow. But all I know is that Jesus is walking with me, and that's all I have. So if you see me shed a tear here and there, I promise I'm not sad. I'm just joyful and I am grateful to God. And I'm a very sensitive person. That's something that God gave me. I've learned to embrace that about myself. I used to fight it. I live in Orlando, Anil. Thank you for asking. And I have my daughter here, so from time to time she'll be careful. Oh, careful. Okay, baby, be careful. The chair, the desk, the table's wobbly. Our table's wobbly. All right, baby. It's water. It just changes colors. um, thank you so much, Mark. Amen. And whew, so yeah, I'm sensitive. I can cry. But I am grateful. It's okay, Anil. I am from Florida, from the United States, from Orlando. Where are you from? And as you're answering these questions, I'll just kind of go back and forth. It's just a conversation, and I sometimes I'll get distracted. But it's we're all here together. So yeah, so I was born into a church, and not in a church. Oh, Turkey! Oh my gosh, Turkey! I've always wanted to visit Turkey, and one of my biggest desires is to gift my mom my mother a trip there. She dreams of it, so I'm hoping that soon I can save up enough to like send her there or even go with her. You know, I'm so glad you enjoy Biblical Daily. I've been slow lately of posting things because I'm building a business on the affiliate marketing side of things that I'm I'm not gonna combine in here at all. That's another channel for that. But that's been keeping me like busy, very busy, because I am going through a separation right now, and I was a stay-at-home mom for just a little bit from October of last year. I gave up my career. Things didn't work out, so I am now getting back into. I got an offer about a couple of weeks ago. God answered my prayers on that, but it's not enough, to do what I need to do. So I am working on other projects, but it's been keeping me very busy. And I'm also back in school because I want to be a psychologist because I have a passion for it. I have a passion for helping people. One of the spiritual gifts that God has been showing me in the last few weeks, which is what this book is about. This is from my church. And what we're doing is we're going through these classes that help us, that guide us to finding what those spiritual gifts are. So it's a structured class, but ultimately we are going to hear God's calling to see what it is that spiritual gift that God gave us. First Corinthians is about spiritual gifts, right? Um, and I want to start off with this, and this is where I wanted to kind of dive into. And again, I don't have um, yeah, I'll answer this question. Before I answer that, I'm gonna just kind of just finish this thought out. Is that I don't have much of a structure for today, so this is gonna be great back and forth. But I did want to talk about something that I learned on yesterday, that was very impactful to my life, and I want to share with you guys tonight. But yes, so going back to your question, I was born into the Pentecostal denomination, the Oneness Pentecostal. Um, I was in a church where I wasn't allowed to wear pants, wear earrings, jewelry, nothing like that. So I don't speak anything against that. Oh, Roberto, you go to church. That's wonderful. That's what my channel is about. The title of my channel is Biblical Daily. So if you haven't followed me yet, you're welcome to follow me. I try to post encouraging Bible-based thoughts. Sometimes it's not specifically biblical, but it is encouraging. It's whatever God places in my heart. Um, and I try to do it daily. I have slacked off of it. Like I said, I've been busy. Um, but um, but yeah, you know what, Mark? And a lot of people have been telling me this lately. Um, Guilt. I knew it was Pentecostal background. Yeah, it's crazy because and I'll tell you a little bit more about my backstory. Thank you so much, Neil. You too. You have a good day. I hope you can stay a little bit. If not, you're always welcome to come back. Um, So I was, like I said, I was born into the church. My grandfather was a pastor. All of his siblings were pastors. He had like 8 brothers and sisters. All of his male siblings were pastors. Um, my dad, his son, was a pastor. His brother is a pastor. In fact, his brother is a missionary in Germany. I have an uncle who's a missionary in Spain. I have a cousin who's a missionary in Austria. I have um, a bunch of cousins who are pastors. They're everywhere. Now, some of the cousins on the cousin side, they have left the denomination because of this as well. They all grew up the same way I did. So we are seen as the outlaws. But I'm praying and I'm hoping that God can open up the eyes of everybody. Now, I don't have anything against the Pentecostals. Their teachings, as far as like the Word of God, they have great Word of God. But what I but what and I want to be careful with how I say this because I never want to speak bad of anybody at all. Um, I just personally, for me, it caused me it is Roberto. I'm not there anymore. I left for due to circumstances. And now I am in a non-denominational church that is biblically based, and we worship with freedom, and we hold to the biblical the teachings without yeah, we follow Jesus is what we do, and is what we all should be doing ultimately, right? um God bless your family for the amen. And you know what, and that's something I did want to say, Mark, is that it's very clear that God chose my family for for a specific purpose, um which is spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. um And I just pray that as far as the other things, they were all born into it. They were all the same way. Some of them were blinded by certain things. And I just hope that some things can be released some strongholds can be broken in my family, so our purpose can grow even more, and we can spread the gospel. The other day, not the other day, this was a while back when I was still in that church. I had um, there was someone who came from Costa Rica. They were working here, um, and they didn't know any English. Um, and at the time, my ex-husband, he owns a construction company, and he picked them up. And my husband wasn't really talking to him about God. Now, my husband's a deacon, but he tends to just ex-husband, excuse me, soon to be ex-husband. He disconnects with people quite a bit when he's talking to them. So I was always the one who would like go in and like pay attention to what they were saying. And he was telling me that he was suffering from depression and anxiety and that he couldn't take it anymore. Just a lot of things that were happening in his life. Very unfortunate things, things that I, very heavy, heavy things that um, God placed a burden in my heart for him. I pray for him every day because it's just what he's been through is just. Um, anyway, so I invited him to our church. And in our church, if you're not dressed up in a certain way, if you're not wearing, for example, women heels and are covered up and your hair is done okay, or the men are wearing a tie and a suit, you can't serve per se. Some churches are calming down on that, but it's for the most part. So that day, everybody was dressed up like a formal party. Um, and I still happened to be dressed down because I was already like feeling like there's something that's not right. I'm not saying that it's not okay to do that. Sunday best, that's wonderful, but it shouldn't be imposed on people to the point where he came to church with us, but he felt so uncomfortable because he was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. And he said, I don't feel like I fit in here. Um, I told him it doesn't matter what everybody else is wearing. God is not looking at that at all. He's here to see you. So although that's something that's a preference, right? That's just a preference of anybody. Because if you, Mark, for example, want to wear a tie, Roberta, you want to wear a tie, that's absolutely fine. It's a matter of like what it shouldn't be imposed on people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm do you understand what I'm trying to say? Um, exactly. Proffered way to work. Exactly. It's something where personally it did cause a lot of trauma. And maybe because of where I was in my family, where everybody, everyone was a leader, everyone, and I became a leader in my church, and I became a worship leader, and I became a teenage group leader, and those things I have passion for. I love it. I love it. Um, one moment. Yes, I'll put your hair in place while I talk. But it was not. Oh, here's a mess today, baby. Um, I won't brush it. We'll brush it before you go to bed. Okay. It was something where it just really became traumatic in a lot of ways. And in ways that seem so, I would say, quote unquote, dumb for a lot of people. Because, come here, baby. Get closer to. Oh, because I have to change the water. We have to wait for daddy because my back's out for your daddy, okay? And once he gets here, he can change it for you. You know what? There's some water right there. Over there. It should be over there in the, yeah. Or in the entrada. There's a water bottle. Look over there, baby. Guys, I'm so sorry. Give me a moment. At the entryway? Over there. There should be water bottles unless daddy took it. Go see. Um, Preferred. I know. It happens to me all the time. It's like it's there to correct you, but ultimately it messes up your messages. Um, yeah. Um, so so personally, it's not about like dissing a church, but I do feel like the church has a lot of great things, but there are things that need to change in order to remove a lot of the pain and hurt that a lot of the fellow friends and people that are acquaintances, people that I grew up. Oh, thank you so much, Roberto. She does have beautiful hair. You can have that, yeah. And Sara's not here, so you can have it because she's not going to be back for a while. My oldest daughter, she's in Spain right now visiting her grandparents. My ex-husband's, or soon to be ex-husband's, 62 days. We're already counting the days, guys. We miss her already. Um, 61. Yes, yes, we're counting down to see our baby again. Um, so yeah, so I have two daughters that I knew. Yes, we're counting the days. I have 2 daughters that I knew, were going to be subject to these types of things. When I was little, guys, my mom would making me this thing called pant skirts. They're like the wide leg pants, but they were just they were terrible. My poor mom. She's now freed from that as well, thank the Lord. But in the time, she had to submit to all of that, and I would go to PE and I would get bullied and I would get made fun of and I would cry. And I remember like finally like in 5th grade, I found some pants. My friend gave me pants and I would put them in my backpack and then I would change in school because I wanted to feel normal. Um, yeah, the Pentecostals, yeah. So like I said, it's not there's nothing wrong with wearing a skirt. I mean, please, they're beautiful. I love skirts. I have a bunch of skirts. Um, but there shouldn't be anything wrong with wearing pants. It's not what God looks at. God just talks about modesty, and that's basically it. um, and anyway, so those little things, although it seems like they're just like, oh, those are just doesn't matter. Those are huge things. Imagine telling a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old like my daughters, you can't do that. You can't wear a necklace. So my ex-husband thinks differently. He's still with that church. There's a lot of things that have happened, a lot of hurt and pain between us, from me, from him. This is why we are divorcing. Other things that are personal I don't want to get into, but at this point, it's just for the best. We don't hate each other, but I want to secure the fact that I'm teaching my daughters that there's freedom in Jesus, and that I don't want to cause this trauma. Parents we're not perfect at all. We make mistakes all the time. Sometimes I see my mom and myself on things that I wish that she didn't do, and I'm like, wait, I stop myself because I don't want to be that person. But I do want to have some sort of I have accountability now that God is saving me from those things that I have to teach my daughters um, the freedom in Jesus. So how much that you worship? Yeah, it's gosh, worship used to be a sacrifice, physical sacrifice of animals, right? And they had to be a specific way. And now God gives us freedom to worship in with our lives. Worship doesn't mean music only. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, worship music. Yes, and worship people identify with music because music is it's a heavenly element that's here on earth, and then we connect with it strongly. And the keys and the notes, they actually, they really. They actually manipulate our emotions, so we have to be very careful. And just that's as a side note, we have to just be careful when we actually worship with music and we worship with song, that we truly aren't mixing our emotions because of the music with what Jesus is talking. In fact, when I pray, I now don't pray with music just because I've been a worship leader, I'm a singer, so music catches my ear very easily. So I want to connect with God, and that's just my personal preference. I just shut off the music. Once in a while, I'll put music on or maybe instrumental, maybe when I'm meditating on the word or whatever. But that's a lot of people. My grandmother used to love listening to music when she prayed. Um, so that's just a personal preference. But anyway, going back to the subject, I feel like I have a responsibility as a mother now to show my children what freedom in Christ is, and show my kids that they're going to be subject to this through my soon to be ex-husband. Now, my ex-husband still live in the same house because I'm just starting my job next month. I can't afford an apartment yet, so I can't afford this house. So he's going to keep the house. Um, but I found a great place. They approved me for it, but I can't move in until July because I just start my job at the end of this month. Um, but we get along well, and you'll probably see him and hear him. I'll call him my husband, but he's my soon to be ex-husband, unless God makes a miracle. I don't know. Nothing's impossible, but for now, that's just the path that God has shown us. Careful, baby. Let me just read the comments here. My church is the best in singing. We have 20 people, and they're all couples in their 70s. We can't sing well, but we sing passion. Oh, I love that. Oh, I absolutely love that. You know what? I love listening to the older generation sing. I went to Switzerland. I have an uncle who's a musician. Um, he's a classical pianist, and he lives in Switzerland. His wife is from Switzerland. So I went to visit him because he wanted to expose me to the culture and all of that. So I was appreciative. I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, going to Switzerland is a dream. So I went, and he took me to this camp. To this, they had a camp going on in the mountains. Can you just imagine how like, ugh. I was just like, oh my, I love the mountains. So I was just like, wow, I can't even describe it. Like I'm speechless right now. So we went to the mountains. They had a camp there, and they had like a group of well, there were young people leading worship, but it was like a family camp. So there was just like a lot of people there, and everyone would sit according to their voice. Yes, I do have a lot of stories. Trust me, I'm gonna chop up my stories in a lot of lives. Yeah, they're a dream. Yeah, and I have a cousin. My uncle still lives there. And then I have a cousin who lives in
Mom, is your uncle
Austria.
alive?
Yeah, Tio Manuel. He's still alive. He's older though, so but and then I have a
What age
cousin
is
in
he?
Germany.
What age is
He's like in his 80s already.
he? Oh, Felipe is in her 60s.
Yes, your grandma's under 60s.
She's 60.
She's 60, yeah. So anyway, so we were at that camp, and everyone would sit according to their voice. So like sopranos would sit together, altos would sit together. Now they didn't have any mute. Well, I lie. I don't lie. I forgot. They had a guitar, like an acoustic guitar. They were accompanying, but everything else was like there was no drums or electrical guitar or like a keyboard, nothing like that. It was just an acoustic guitar and the voices. So when everyone sang together, now this was in practice, literally just okay, everybody sit according to your voice. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I mean, I'm talking about like everyone was singing according to their voice. I remember like not wanting to sing. It's like, oh my god, what if I mess it up? And it was just the most amazing worship. But everybody was so focused on just worshiping in their voice with the voice that God gave them. So that message to me was like, wow, because in the music world or in the worship world, there's a lot of pride and a lot of, people are they have their egos up there. And I'm talking for myself because there are times, when I used to be a worship leader that I had to be like, Lord, keep my ego in check because it's very easy. You're up on the altar, everybody's watching you. It's like the artists, the rock stars or whatever. You get that feeling of like, that's not okay because the center of it all should be Jesus. You're worshiping him. Um, Nobody should be focused on you. Yes,
Hey,
my love.
do you want the break?
Are you doing a mohawk on your hair?
No, no, it's still like this one, not the whole thing.
But it kind of looks cool. What do you want me to do?
Scratch like
I'm gonna just. Are you sleepy? I can tell when you're sleeping. You want me to
I'm
scratch?
not sleeping.
Okay. Um. So I there this one. Okay. So I there. No, I'm gonna scratch your back like not good. This is a brush. Okay, you do it yourself, but be careful, okay? Okay. Pay attention. Go sit down. So I would yeah, I know. You're sleepy, that's why. Um I was afraid to sing, but it was just the most beautiful thing. So it was just beautiful because nobody was focused on anybody. Um Hi. Say hi. You showed your whole face. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry, I'm getting sleepy. Oh, my allergies are getting better.
I'm tired of this.
No, this is good. It's a little bit of like you get your body moving.
Oh, your face.
I know because of my allergies, but it's getting better. It was worse earlier. And all of this, it was like, it's still really red, but it was like shutting off. Anyway, sorry
Mom,
guys.
last time that happened to me, I was like this. I was keep hitting it, I was keep freaking it.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, Colton had a pink eye and Riker and Renata.
I know it was going around the school. I heard about that. Having you talk does remind me how blessed I am to have the worship environment. Yeah, it's interesting. And there's nothing wrong. Like my church where I go to now, we just had a worship night last night and it's like, when some of the latest songs that are beautiful, they combine it with like hymns. But it is, your typical contemporary music, but there's freedom in worship. It's beautiful. Gosh, it's so beautiful.
Take this off, please.
Be careful, baby. You're messing the table. More than you moving the table is just because there's a missing piece. And it's about to fall apart, I feel like. You need to tell your dad to fix that.
I
Um,
have to get a new table.
that's gonna be up to him now, baby. You have to whatever he wants to do, that's up to him, okay?
Who?
Your dad. You can ask him, okay? If he wants to get a new table, that's maybe.
With his money. Yeah, you have less money. You said you how much money do you have with all your credit cards?
I'm not gonna talk about that right now, baby, because I'm on live. No, because I'm talking on live right now. We'll talk about it later. And you shouldn't be talking about that. Sorry, guys. My daughter's not getting into finances. She's 6. Anyway, guys.
Stop saying that I'm 6 on every live.
It'll help explain my conversations with you. People knew you were 6. Can you imagine? What do you? Tutia Ayla, your auntie used to do that to me when I was younger. Actually, do that in the 90s. Those hairstyles are crazy.
Do it.
No, I can't. My hair's too flat now. I can't do that. My hair doesn't do
You
that
have to get
anymore.
your hair really wet. You have to put your hair in a ponytail. And there has to be a little bit of hair to come. And then you get it wet and then you just brush it.
Are you gonna be a hairstylist when you grow up?
No.
Hey, she says she's gonna be the hair.
No! I'm gonna be the boss of Target.
Oh, she's gonna be that's right,
No,
the boss of
I'm gonna
Target.
be a teacher.
Oh, and a teacher. So she's gonna be a hairstyling teacher who also leads Target. Is that
Yeah.
okay? All right. I'm gonna try to get back to this. I'm gonna be here a few more minutes. So anyway, guys. She's over here singing. I don't know what's so the point of all of this is yesterday. Now, this is what I've been trying to get to because it was so beautiful what I learned yesterday, guys. So everybody knows First Corinthians 13. Yeah, I try to memorize it, but it's just so beautiful. I always read it. No, she won't sleep. She will never sleep without work schedule. So I was in service yesterday, and my pastor talked about our lead pastor came to visit our campus, and he was talking about First Corinthians. Now, like I said, this book. What I'm doing now, I'm doing homework now for my church. I'm in school for psychology, so I took today to do my homework for church, and then I'll continue on with my regular school. But we talked about First Corinthians 13, and he said the coolest thing, right? So, 2 things about that. The first thing is that Corinthians was written for to talk about the fruit of the spiritual gifts, right? What God gives us. So when we are saved, we accept Him as our Lord and Savior. He then gives us spiritual gifts. So once He gives us spiritual, Dora, no barking. Once He gives us spiritual gifts, we have to utilize them, right? Well, smack dab in the middle. The cow, hold on. Of the 2 chapters that talk about this, chapter 12 and chapter 14 is chapter 13, 1 Corinthians 13, that talks about love. This is the trip tonight, guys. She made me very sister. What? No, I did not. I said you're a trip. You're silly. That's what that means. Those are my friends that I can tell had access to the 90s. Okay, baby, I'm going to read something. So this is 2 Corinthians. I was like, wait, what? Okay. 1 Corinthians 13, 4. And this is the first thing I'm going to say. So, okay, so again, chapter 12 and chapter 13 talk about the fruit of the Spirit. Look at that. So we're going to kind of bring out that. And I'm not an expert. I'm not a theologist. I'm still reading through the book. But this was something that caught my eye. So smack dab in the middle of those 2 is the subject of love. And basically, God gives us all of these gifts. But if we don't do it with love, what Paul was trying to get at is, guys, it's in the middle. Like, you can have all of these gifts, but if you don't do it with love and you don't portray these, what love is, then it's for nothing, right? So with that said, I just like that the way that Paul did that. It's like right in the middle. We did an exercise with our pastor yesterday that said, okay, so we're going to take those verses, verses 4 through 8, I think it is. And I'm going to read it now. Everybody knows it. So 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous, nor boastful, or proud, or rude. It does not demand
Mommy.
its own way
Mom, if everybody knows it, why are you reading it?
because I'm doing an exercise with it, baby. Just pay attention. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always
I
hopeful,
can use those.
and endures through every circumstance. Yes, you do. Okay. All right. So that is what this is. Now, this is the New Living Translation version. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to replace the word love with Jesus. Okay. So we'll go back. Jesus is patient and Jesus is kind. Jesus is not jealous. Jesus is not boastful. Jesus is not proud. Jesus is not rude. Jesus does not demand its own way. Jesus is not irritable. Jesus does not keep record of wrongs. Jesus does not rejoice about injustice. Jesus rejoices whenever the truth wins. Jesus never gives up. Yes, baby. That was Dora. Dora. Something fell. It's okay. Um, Jesus. Okay, so Jesus does not rejoice about injustice. He rejoices whenever the truth wins. Jesus never gives up. Jesus never loses faith. Jesus is always hopeful. Jesus endures through every circumstance. So Jesus, God is love, right? God is love, and that's something that we feel comfortable saying because we know that that's his truth. We know that's his essence, and we know that it gives us hope because we can count on that love, right? Now listen to this. Now let's replace Jesus now with our name. Jen is patient. Jen is kind. Jen is not jealous. Jen is not Jen is boastful. Jen is proud. Jen is rude. I'm sorry. Jen is not rude. Hold on, baby. Hold on. You're making me I'm trying to concentrate. Okay, let me start over. Jen is patient. Jen is kind. Jen is not jealous. Jen is not boastful. Jen is not proud. Jen is not rude. Jen does not demand it's her own way. Jen is not irritable. Jen does not keep record of wrong. Jen does not rejoice about injustice. Um, but Jen rejoices when the truth wins out. Jen never gives up. Jen never loses faith. Jen is always hopeful. Jen endures through every circumstance. I'm Jen. Yes, that's the point, baby. So, how does that make us feel? So, exactly, it is applicable for our day to day because this is the more we practice this. So, what I'm starting to do now is, I'm saying starting like yesterday because that's kind of when God like opened my eyes to this. Is I'm starting to like not just once a day, like several times a day. I'm taking this verse and I'm repeating it out loud with my name in it because that way my spirit is being reminded of what it is. Of what it is. Oh yeah, you're so cute. Of what it is. Okay, let mommy do the live, okay, and then we'll play. Hold on. I have to fold laundry. I have a lot of laundry to fold tonight. Of what it is that it is to be, love is, and how love should be shown in our lives. And when God gives us these spiritual gifts, this is what we are supposed to be portraying via our spiritual gifts and via our lives in general. So that's something that only Jesus can do. But the transformation only happens if we take action, right? So, because a lot of times we expect for God to be like, okay, you are healed, boom, with a magic wand. This is all done. He can do it. God can do that. Jesus can do that. But what lessons would we learn? How would we actually grow? What lessons can we help other people if we don't go through pain, if we don't go through suffering? Because the pain and suffering is not God telling us, oh, I want you to have all this pain. No, it's the stuff that we do to ourselves, the bad decisions that we make, the sin that's in our lives, the things that we have to repent over and over about. Hey, Robert, yeah, welcome back. I'm very confused because I feel like there's more people watching than what this is telling me, so I'm not sure, but Hey, it's okay. um,
So if you're in there, we're watching
well, they're watching me. We're not watching them.
you. But if you have your own TikTok, we can
Well, this is
watch
not
you.
TikTok. Yeah, this is YouTube.
Oh.
I,
But then you can make YouTube shorts.
I am making a lot of YouTube shorts.
That means you can make YouTube shorts.
I am making so silly.
No, you should do dances.
Oh no, I don't do dances and stuff like that.
Well, I'm
That's
gonna
yours.
do one.
Okay, you can do one. Oh, but yeah, we'll figure that out later. More the better. Exactly. Yes. So, and the reason I'm doing this, guys, is because I know a lot of people who are going. You're really hyper tonight. Wait, oh, what did you do to your hair? Ay, señor. There are a lot of people who are going through similar things, who are getting free from bondage or getting free from all of this. And guys, God, the thing that I'm learning now is that I don't have to earn God's love. He loves me already. And that's something so that's changed. Just that alone, God, because His love is this, what I just read, that is His love. That is Him in His essence. And that alone is changing my life. Just that. Just understanding that. And now that I'm applying it to me because He wants me to be more, He created us to be like Him. Um, so we have to really practice and apply the word and build that relationship, that connection, that conversation with Jesus. And it's not about praying 3 hours a day and like, oh, I have to get up at 5 and pray. Like if you get up at 5, that's awesome. That's spiritual discipline. But it doesn't mean that you have to. That's Alexa. Oh, it's time for bed. It's not. I have to shut off for the summer. I have to shut off for the summer.
Alexa,
That's for
stop bedtime for the rest of
summer.
the rest of
Alexa, can you please shut off the reminders until July 27th? I'll fix it later. I have to fix it through the app. Yes, that'll fix it
Shut
too.
up, Alexa.
Hey, no. What is going on with you today?
That's what you said.
I said that was we were joking around the other day. We wanted to see if she would respond to shut up, but then I realized that the girls were on me and now they're
You
saying it.
responded to shut up.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so going back to the subject at hand. We have to just remember that God is love and He is working through us for us all the time. I have a friend who's struggling on Saturday. In his anger, he cursed me out and lashed out. I ran into him today. I could see his burden. That's the thing, guys. Most of the time, it isn't personal. It's just the things that everyone struggles with the pain, and even as Christians, like we will. I mean, if anything, we have more of a burden because we feel like we have to be perfect, and no, we don't. We are human beings, and we just have to let Jesus work through us, and He will change us, and He will work through us each and every single day. Um, that's beautiful, Mark. That's exactly it. Like we have to love our neighbors, love our enemies, love the people who hurt us, forgive them. Um, and that's one thing that I'm struggling with is forgiveness. I'm not gonna lie, forgiveness is something I've been through quite a bit in life. I have a lot of trauma, but I am learning to forgive because if I don't forgive, Jesus can't forgive us. It's biblical. It's in the Bible. He said it. So, so I encourage you to practice this, and this is helping me forgive. Now, forgiveness. What I learned the other day is actually really cool too. Just one last thing, and I'll promise I'll end. Um, because I am going through therapy for a lot of this, and my therapist said forgiveness is not no longer being hurt and forget like just I forgive you and no longer bothers you. No, forgiveness is not wanting to have vengeance on that person anymore, not wanting to hurt
Can you
that
put it
person
in a
anymore.
42? Can you put it in better?
Yes, I can fix it. Not wanting to. Oh, baby, but you did so many knots. Can you give me 2 more minutes while I wrap up here? No, I'm almost done. Okay. You want to entertain him for a second while I do your hair? Okay, guys, she's gonna entertain you for a second. No dances.
Yeah.
She's a dancer, guys. She loves she loves to dance. Can you tell them about your day? Can you tell them what your sister's doing?
She's in Spain playing.
What?
She's in Spain.
She's in Spain. She's in Spain. Blah blah blah. Are you tired of telling everybody the same thing? After after this, I need you to go brush your teeth, okay? And then put on your PJs. We're gonna go to bed soon. Even though it's summer, doesn't mean you can go to bed
Summer
separately.
break.
I'm gonna talk to your friend's mom tomorrow to see if you guys can have a play date, okay? Guys, I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging with me. I'm doing mommy duties. This is what the rest of my life is gonna look like. I really don't want to get married anymore, guys. Let's see. I just realized what I just said. Oh, this is the learning process. Well, that's because Daddy told you way too in advance, but it's okay. No problems. We love you. Raquel, that's personal. Hi, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, I have 3 exes in my life. Oh, that I'm not going to share. No. You're nosy, little Ms. Raquel. Okay, I need you. Raquel, it's hard to brush your hair when you're like on my face. Okay, there we go. So her dad used to be a soccer player, and we love soccer, and we love listening to Shakira's Waka Waka song all the time. And she also loves the NFL. Mhm. She's my sporty girl. She took after her dad. Well, both of them did. Yeah, you really are good at sports. Did you tell them you're good at sports? Okay. Well, he's running late today, but when he comes later, I don't know what he's doing. But when he comes later, you can tell him tomorrow. You can make plans, okay? All right, you're all set. Go brush your teeth. Mommy will be there in a minute. Oh, you gonna do the dance? Okay, you can drink. That's not an energy drink. That's just Gatorade. You can um finish this video and then we're going to bed, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging in there. Thank you, Marcus. You are my number one fan. Hey, no yelling. Calm down. Get all that energy out. I think I'm gonna have to give you a bath after this. All right, guys. All right, Mark, because I think you're the only one here. So the moral of the story is I forgot what I was saying. Yes. Okay. We were talking about being Christian. So yeah, um, it's not easy, but as long as we can forgive. Oh, I was talking about forgiveness. That forgiveness is whenever you no longer want to hurt. You know, when somebody does something to you, you're like, oh, like people talk about karma, right? What goes around comes around. Are you gonna get it because you made it did it to me? Whenever that is let go, we no longer feel like we want to hold on to that. That's forgiveness. We're still gonna feel the pain when we think about it. We're still gonna feel uncomfortable. We may even not want to connect with that person still. We'll still forgive you, but I just can't. That doesn't mean that you have to continue your relationship. It doesn't mean that you have to continue your friendship. But you just let go of that and you move on with your life, or you work on the relationship, or you whatever it is that you choose to do. But the forgiveness piece is that not wanting to cause hurt on somebody else. So what you did is forgive, even though it bothered you and you probably got angry. Jesus got angry too. But the fact that you didn't want to like have him pay back what he did to you, that's forgiveness. Yes, baby. Oh, baby, be careful. Oh my God. Oh, I thought you were. Never mind. Anyways, I leave you with First Corinthians 13. I want you to practice this throughout the week, every single day. The more you do it, the better. I'm gonna do it all week long. I'm thinking about fasting this weekend coming up. Um, I want to see several changes. I want to see victories. I need to have financial victories, guys. Pray for me because I'm gonna make it happen. I will let you guys know. I'm gonna let you know about my other channel and another once I have built it up a little bit more, and then you can follow that. And I do have I have a website, jenbcakes.com, where I talk about I do my affiliate marketing, so I like show you guys like different decoration tips, like a minimalist decoration tips. So that's really cool there too. So just a few things, and I just hope that God is with me every step of the way. But thank you so much, Mark, for hanging in there from our technical difficulties from our first go at it, where everything went wrong with that spammer. Thank God he did come back. Uh, and yeah, have a great week, guys. I'm gonna try to be live on Friday night. I do TikTok lives as well. So if you do have TikTok, I go by Jen B Cakes. JENB Cakes, CAKES, on TikTok. And you can follow me there, or Jenby Cakes on Instagram. I have a Facebook account, but I don't really use it. Um, and yeah, and I hope you guys get to see you guys around. But yeah, I'll probably hop on Friday, most likely at around 7 o'clock. So meet me back here at 7, and we can talk about some other stuff. All right. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. All right. Bye. Have a good night.